The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the podcast platform, its affiliates, or even the hosts. The information provided is for general informational purposes only and should not be taken as legal, financial, or professional advice. The host and guests are not liable for any errors of omission in the content, nor for any losses, injuries, or damages arising from the use of the information provided. Listeners are encouraged to seek professional advice relevant to their specific circumstances.
Are we live? What's good, great people? I am Eza Moon, and I have a special guest in the building today. Some people chase titles, right? Others build lives that refuse to fit inside one. Today's guest is a woman whose story is layered with excellence, resilience, reinvention, and faith. From being raised between cultures and with extraordinary expectations, to surviving experiences that could have silenced her, to rising again with purpose. She represents what it means to become your own standard. This isn't just a conversation about success. It's a conversation about your voice, survival, identity, and the power of becoming. I welcome you, my audience, Dr. Aisha Marie.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we can.
Okay, I can't hear you, so that's why I'm a little nervous.
Oh no, you
Yeah.
can't hear me at all.
No, but I'm reading lips. I'm doing pretty well right now, but I
Oh,
don't.
you are doing amazingly well. That's scary. Did you want to back out and come back in?
Back out and come back in. Okay,
Yeah,
let me try. Give me 1 second.
got you, y'all.
So, how's your interview going there, sir? Is it okay? I could have sworn we said, hey, something always happens before the show. I could have sworn we kind of had that conversation.
Something literally always happens before the show, but you know what though, bro? I
It's all good,
love
though.
these moments. You know, like oddly enough, bro. This literally is like a running joke from back when we first started. When I'll be like, producer.
Yes.
Oh, she's here.
Yep.
You got
all right. I'm out. You guys have a good one.
For sure.
Okay, there we are.
Okay, we got you.
Yes.
All right, awesome. All right. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good today. I am. How are you feeling?
Man, honestly, I'm blessed and highly favored, and I'm going to stay in that mindset this
Amen.
week. Yes, ma'am. Let's get into Act One.
Okay.
I like to call this the grounding. Your story begins in what you described as a cultural melting pot. You know, you were raised by an immigrant mother and a Marine father who didn't want you to meet the standard, right? But become it. When you look back now, do you feel that built you or pressured you?
I think two things can be true at once. I think anything that you build that's worth building does require pressure. Um, I don't think that anything that I would want to build in my life, I don't think I would want that to be easy. And so it's definitely been like really challenging, but it has fortified me in a way that there are certain challenges that I know like I'm crushing it. Like there are certain, you know how they say rise to the occasion, like there are some things that I don't even second guess because I just know that I'm equipped, sort of thing. And so it was a high bar to meet at a very young age. And so I think that what I can do now as like an adult is just kind of hold space for like that younger self, you know, that was dealing with the pressure and dealing with all of the big feelings that, you know, came with perfection at such a young age. But I think that I can also at the same time in my adult self be really grateful for, you know, how they showed up in my life. And especially in a lot of the work that I do, like working in social services, you really see how people you're navigating their experience, but don't really have a lot of mentors, don't have people to teach them life skills. And I've even, seen instances of, the parent being their antagonist, the parent being the person that's against them. And I can, wholeheartedly say, my family, my parents, my support system, like I've never felt like envy from them. I've never felt like, they were out trying to do me bad. These are people that saw me and believed in me and knew what I could do and really pushed me towards that potential. And so I think in, the grand scheme of things, I'm very grateful.
Awesome. Nowadays that excellence, right? Does that feel empowering, heavy? Talk to me.
That's a good question. Okay, so I was on that like route of excellence. So like K through 12th grade, right? So all 13 years. And then all 4 years of undergrad, I went to Bowie State. I love my HBCU.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I graduated Bowie State with a 4.0, like cumulative. And I hate to be the person that's like, yeah, and put the cumulative, but I
No,
mean, when you
no,
go
put that.
like when you go 4 years, 8 semesters of having an A in everything, like that wasn't easy. I pledged, I did a lot of other things. I had my own nonprofit, and so um maintaining that excellence at that point in college, it wasn't like an expectation of my parents. It was really just something where I came in my first year and I was like, I can do this, like I can keep doing this. And I was unfortunately a COVID grad. I graduated in 2020. And so I think that March, like spring of 2020, was when like they sent everybody home. And we thought it was just going to be like, a couple weeks, maybe a month. I got me a little spring break and then just never returned. Yeah, so that was rough. But in the midst of all that, I was the first student to ever graduate from Bowie State University in their history since 1865 with a perfect GPA. So I didn't get, my flowers and my walk across the stage, but it happened. I did it. My guides, my ancestors saw it. So, that was cool for me.
Man, look, I want you to know that this space is here to give you those flowers and speak highly of you, because you are in fact Black history now.
Oh, thank you.
Since 1865. Come on, dog. You history. You are literally history now. Man, look, dog. That's it's a blessing, and of course it will be the Saras to do it now.
Because who else is gonna do it if we don't do it? But but yeah.
I want to get into you know it's kind of common in households, right? This phrase that your father told you that as a young Black girl, you'd have to work twice as hard to be seen as half as good, right?
Yeah.
With everything that you did, even with you being this literally a section of just Black excellence, do you still feel that expectation today?
In terms of like how society views me, like the twice as hard thing.
Yeah, as far as you, not just society, but you yourself, as far as like how you move in society. Do you still feel like you have to work twice as hard to be seen as half as good?
Honestly, I think the numbers have gone up. I feel like I work 8 times as hard to be
Mm.
seen as a quarter of
Mm.
worthy in today's day and age. I think it was interesting because you got to think I'm 27. So when I was told that, I was probably about 5. And at that time, it was a time where my father's Black. He has always been very aware, of racism and how Black people are treated in this country. But it was a lot more underneath the veil. It was a lot more taboo. People hated Black people, but it was kind of after they left the office in their own home sort of thing. Um, and so he was letting me know that, just so like as I go through this life, like, hey, they may not say it to your face. They may not tell you on your application that you're denied because of X, Y, and Z, but I just need you to know this is the expectation that you have in this world. And so I think that now we're living in a time where it's blatant. It's not even like the taboo, undercover, covert, racism. We're seeing it daily we are seeing it, and it's not just like this one police brutality, or this one say her name. It is every single day, and it's not even just to Black people anymore. It's to people who are allies with minorities. I never thought I'd see the day where we are killing white people in broad daylight and everyone's just moving on like that didn't happen, or moving on like, the videos don't exist. And so I think the time period has changed where bigots and racists and fascists, they are comfortable in this season, and they are under a leader where they feel, empowered to say those things, and to be against minorities. And so I think that the sentiment is still the same, if not more being required, because it's not even hidden no more, that it's right in our faces. And I think that, God willing, when I start my family, I would tell my daughter the same thing.
I would hope that, by that time, that we wouldn't have to have those type of talks with our children, because of the fact that, society has moved into a better space. But it seems like with everything that you've just said, that we're very far off from that day and age happening.
We have strayed very far from God's light, for sure. I don't know where we're at right now, but I know it's all hands on deck, especially in community, especially in the work. I've just never seen anything like this, honestly. And it gets very disheartening doing the work a lot of the times, but it's also like, if you're not doing it, like, who will, sort of thing.
That actually brings to mind a question that I was actually going to. I took this off my list, but I really want to ask this. Do you think Black women are celebrated for their strength, but like rarely protected in their softness?
I wouldn't even say celebrated. I think that that's too positive of a connotation. I think society employs Black women, and not in a way where we're being paid or valued. I think that whenever there's a task too big, or, too overwhelming, let's call a Black woman to do it. I've seen a lot of rhetoric, just on social media even, about how a Black woman is, supposed to be that guiding energy, that comforting voice, that hug when you need it. We are expected to be front lines fighting for every cause, not even just our causes, but Black men's mental health. Why aren't you speaking on that? Like, why aren't you speaking on that? Like, I just, these are things that I just don't understand. And why is it always we got to wait until a Black woman gets up to do something? And, that's it. Just from our history, that has been it. Black women are the backbone of society. We raised your families and your children. We cooked your food. We took care of your homes. We did all of these things while you stole from us, while you ridiculed us, while you degraded us. This is like kind of somber, but it is Black History Month. Little known fact in like slave history is that slave owners, masters, were encouraged by their white wives to rape and sexually assault slave women, because in the patriarchy in that day and age, it's like, well, men are going to be men. That's been around forever. Men are going to be men. Men are going to cheat. They're going to have desires. And I would rather you go and victimize a Black slave than you to go and corrupt a nice innocent white girl down the street. And so they encouraged it with their husbands and with their sons. Black people were made to, like, teeth made out of furniture. Like, people were using our skin and skinning us, making us couches. And so it's always, I could go on forever, but it's just always this idea that we are meant to be the support staff. And I asked a question the other day on my social media, and I asked people to share some good news. And one of the first responses I got was, we need more Black women in the justice system because y'all fight for us. And I was just like, well, okay, we're not sharing no good news. This is not even like, where did this even come from? And I feel like whoever asked that question really didn't mean intentional harm by it, but it bothered me so deeply because it's just like that reinforced mindset where, Black women have to come and save the day. When is the last time you've protested in support of Black women? When's the last time that you've spoken up against femicide, against domestic violence? When's the last time you denounced R. Kelly and Tory Lanez and all your other people that y'all still play and still listen to? Okay. Black women make the least out of everybody. It's white man, it's black man, it's white woman, and it's black woman at the bottom of the totem pole. So even when we talk about women's rights, people get a little mad at me because I always have to specify, oh, I know I'm fighting for the black girls. I'm fighting for black women. That's not me saying I'm anti-brown woman or anti-white woman, but it's me very clearly saying we are not grouped together. This is not one large kumbaya of being oppressed. Y'all still have it better than us, still being paid more than us. And it's 2026. And so I don't even know what the question was asked, but I really I don't support this whole idea that, oh, I'm colorblind and it's 2026, black people are judges, black people are this and are that. Why are black people only 3% of the law, if that's the case? When I was in law school, why is it a class of 70 people and there's literally 4 of us, including me? Why, if that's the case, and if we're really honoring history and what happened, why am I debating in February a team of white students about why black people don't deserve reparations? Who are you to say? Who are you to say? Right. And so it's just unfortunate, everyone else kind of gets their piece of the pie, their reparations, in better positions. And then there's us. And so like you criminalize being black, you hate us for being black, but you kidnapped us over here to build what you wanted, and now we're not good enough to be a part of it. And so those are just some things I have issue with.
Oh, look, I wholeheartedly respect the thought process, and you now have me reconsidering. I usually have a phrase that I champion that. Oh, well, if you want to be successful in life, you know what you need? A black woman. But now I'm like, I legitimately, I go watch them. I literally say this.
I'm not mad at that. I mean, I think that there just has to be genuine value there. So don't say, oh, you need a black woman when you want domestic help. What do you need when you're saying you need a black woman? Are you looking for a black woman to have a family with and to grow old with? Are you looking for someone to have shared values with and create memories? Or are you looking for someone to give you a child and take care of your home while you go do what you do, sort of thing? I think that if you're going to say that you need a black woman or you value black women, like there has to be action behind that. It's not just your preference or who you'd like to date or what skin color. It's showing up for those fights. There shouldn't be anybody that's connected to me or says that they're my friend or says they love me and you still follow Tory Lanez or you still bumping R. Kelly. It's just not like you don't care about black women. And people, oh, it's not that deep. I like the music, not the artist. It is that deep. It is that deep. Tell me, if you got jumped in your neighborhood or something horrific happened to you, or even if you were sexually assaulted, would you want your mom and uncle and cousins and so still bumping their music, still following them, still supporting them? It'd be a problem. If these things happen to your sisters and your daughters and your aunts, oh, it's up. It's all smoke. Like we're not holding back. But it's this idea that issues have to come and knock on your front door for you to care. That's what I don't respect. And so I think it's okay to say that you love black women and you need a black woman and all of these other things. But I think along with I need a black woman needs to be a whole lot of fine print about how you intend to value her, protect her, and defend her, because you will need to.
I respect that. I'm at a loss of words because I'm over here thinking that I thought that the part of my work was to also platform these voices, platform these opinions and these thought processes so that people can get an understanding of the reasoning why. Because I feel like every person I've sat with is like successful in their field and is doing something to you know build a bridge for the people coming up behind them to be able to walk across. And that's why I'm like, that's why you're right. You are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Man, you're absolutely right. Thank you for that. I want to get into, you know, you once said that speaking up as a child was often labeled disrespect, and I can tell you right now, as as a Nigerian American, I definitely can understand that. d- do you think though that's where your hunger for advocacy was born?
Definitely. Because, well, it's like a mixed story. So because I grew up in an interracial household, my mom's Asian. I grew up going to we call it monastery, but it's like church, but they have monks and things.
Yeah.
So I remember going to these places with my mom, and all the Asian aunties are coming around and they're like, oh yeah, my son's a surgeon, my son's a doctor, all the, engineer. And I remember my mom kind of just being like, ooh, she wants to be a lawyer. Oh, my bad. Like, and it wasn't really accepted. It wasn't like this was something that she could go brag about. But I just had never had any interest in, medicine or anything like that. I just knew that I wanted to have a voice because that was something that I'd never really got to have, I felt. And not just have a voice, but to be a voice for others. And I can say, like, I'm very deeply empathetic. And just when I think about like some of my lowest moments, I got through them, but I also think about like the people who have gone through similar things and they're doing it by themselves. And that just breaks my heart. I just can't take it. And so um, I didn't really know what the word would be. To me, like lawyer just seemed like something that could make her semi-proud. But that would also have, that ability to speak. And I wish that I had more exposure younger to nonprofit careers and social work and advocacy, because I'm very grateful for my legal background. I think it gives me a lot of credibility. But I think that there are a lot of other ways to kind of get to being that voice that don't necessarily include law school and whatnot.
That's okay. I I'm I'm wondering, how powerful is it now? Is it to now, build a life around, the very voice that you were once told to silence?
It's a great question. Um, it's very surreal. Like honestly, like I feel like I've done a lot of these. I've done a lot of interviews and things, and so like I'm kind of used to it from one aspect. But at the same time, it definitely blows my mind that like people still want to hear me talk. Like I don't know if I'll ever like if that'll ever feel normal. I remember my first time that I publicly shared about my domestic violence experience. I'm not sure if that was in your research, but
It
I
is.
am okay.
It's coming up.
I'm um I'm an advocate for survivors as well. And so I remember the first time that I publicly sat down in front of strangers and tried to tell them my story. And it happened to be through poetry. There's this organization in Baltimore called Turnaround.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is when I was in college, I targeted them as a place I wanted to donate to. And so like my team and I, like we did a whole big, beautiful project for them. And I did that not even knowing that I would be using their services like in a few years after that. And so it's like, wow, like life comes at you fast. Like this is, I wasn't expecting that, but and so Turnaround hosted like a poetry night. And I remember being so scared. I sat outside the building. I wanted to go home. I was by myself. But I was registered to speak and to not even just to speak, my poem was published by them. And so like this was like a big party that they were having for the book of poems. And I just remember sitting there and reading the poetry. And the only reason I could do it was because I wasn't actively saying what happened to me. Like it was like hidden in like, like different metaphors and things. And that's the beautiful thing about art. But I just remember when I finished, I was like on the brink of tears. And like everyone stood up and clapped. And not even just that, the rest of the night I was walking around, everyone came up to me and was like, thank you so much for sharing. And I just, it really took me back because I had never had anybody thank me for sharing my story. And that that was kind of like the first time I realized, like, oh, my experience wasn't just to like punish me. It wasn't just the thing that, you know, the misfortune in my life. Um, this is testimony. And this is, as much as it feels like I'm rehearsing my experience, you know, and you know, you say the same thing, you say the same thing, and it's like, oh, I've been victimized. Oh, woe is me. It's empowering at the same time too. And so yeah, I think this year will probably be my 5th year in the DV space as an advocate. October's get really busy. But yeah, I think that advocacy and just all of this, it is very surreal to me. All of this aside, even like just the platform that I have on social media, that shocks me. I can't believe this many people want to tap and tune into my life and what I do. And so I'm grateful. I am.
Man, I mean, you are a testimony. Sincerely, you are a walking testimony, and it is wow. It is. I just don't. I'm once again. I'm at a loss for words. I'm just gonna be absolutely honest. I once again actually at a loss for words because it's like, how do you? I have no real follow up questions in regards to it because of the fact that, you know, you clearly explained like, hey, this is how this impacted me. But I do want to touch you know on one thing. Um, I you going through that and it contributing to, you know, your advocacy, although, you know, I'm 99.999% sure with a 0.00001% of margin for error
Mhm.
that you have positively impacted so many people. Um, but I also know that a selfish portion of myself who has, you know, talked to many different people who are survivors, I've always wished that that did not happen to them because of the fact that like it's I don't believe I hate what trauma does to people. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's
Um,
violent. Yeah. And I think that, you know, I think it's awesome that you do talk to survivors and, you know, exchange those stories. But I would tell everybody that's watching, whether you know it or not, you do know someone that has survived either domestic violence, intimate partner violence, or some form of sex trafficking. It is so much more common than you would ever really think. I think the numbers recently are either like they're 1 in 3 or 1 in 4. I can't remember exactly, but when you just step into an elevator, when you go into um, any space and you really think about the numbers, it's like, wow, there have to be, like statistically, like there have to be people in here that, you know, have experienced that sort of victimization. And so I think I'm at a point in my life where, and I think I've always been like this, but um, taking that pain and, you know, people say from pain to power, but I think that like important middle step is like curiosity. You know, like this happened to me. It's not happening to just me. And really for my own healing journey, unpacking like, well, why did this happen? Like everything has a starting point, and I don't believe that this happened to me just because God wasn't feeling me this year. So, you know, he said, here's a little extra suffering for her portion. Like it's not
so
that. Um, and so I just think that exploring and understanding the why has been really helpful for me. Um, One thing that I feel very strongly about, I don't think being susceptible to abuse is an intellectual thing. I don't think that, you know, like, oh, she's a smart girl. Like, how could that happen to her? It has nothing to do with intelligence, in my opinion. I think that victimization, specifically domestic violence, is a self esteem thing. Um, and just for people to know, domestic violence is, you know, like the broader term. Intimate partner is like your significant other. So you can experience domestic violence like with family members, with friends, and things like that. But intimate partner is specifically like for your relationship. And so what I've noticed is that a lot of people have had those patterns of abuse in their life, whether that was like through childhood or otherwise. And then you you grow up, you know, you got hormones and stuff. You grow up, you like people, and you're dating. And I mean, as humans, all we're really doing is just, you know, keeping up with the pattern. None of us know how to be a being here. This is all our first time, you know, in this world. And so it's just like you just do what you know. You do what you know, and you do like what your environment has conditioned you to do, until there comes a turning point and you make different choices. But I think I really had to sit with myself and, even in the healing, like not even being upset with him or them or whoever it was that caused the harm, but really asking myself, what about this situation? What about the pattern? What made me be in agreement with this sort of treatment? Does that make sense?
No, it definitely makes a lot of
Okay.
sense. Like it's like what inside of you said that, oh, okay, that I'm going to allow for this to take place.
And it's not a conscious thought. It's not like a, okay, like let's just rock out, you know, go ahead do this, go ahead do that. It's not like that. Oh, my little light died. But it's more of like it's a subconscious choice, and it's this idea that you will instinctively agree to things, not because you want them, not because you agree with it, but because it's just what you've known. And so a lot of the work that I do in the advocate space is just really helping young women rewire kind of what their framework has been up until this point. Why do you consider that to be love? Why did you, you know, if he said this and did this, what made you still go over? What made you still, not to victim blame by any means, but really to get them to see that love, by your definition, is not what love should be. And how can we rewire that programming so that you're making better choices in the future?
I have a great deal of more questions for you, but we want to go ahead and take a quick break. So
Okay.
we're gonna go to a
commercial.
WSAN Radio, the soul of America and beyond. Join DJ Ron G and the WSAN crew every day for the Ron G Morning Show, Funk Friday, and Gospel Brunch Sunday. From local heroes to national guests, WSAN Radio connects you to the pulse of our community. One song, one story, one soul at a time. WSAN Radio, where music, motivation, and movement come together. Streaming live, follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and WSANradio.com.
Got me together with this two-piece. It's the good leggings, no see-through business.
All right, and we are back with the Dr. Asia Marie on over here on the Frank Conversation. Big shout out to our sponsors. Doc, how you feeling so far?
I'm good. I would love to go. I don't know when you have that question, but I would love to go into like the terminology thing as well.
Oh, absolutely. No, you know what? This actually, it's right here. See, I had to go past the, you know, the other one, but I have this one right here queued up ready for you because this
Okay.
is your interview. So let's get into it. You know, you described yourself as a woman who refused to be put in a box.
Yeah.
Lawyer, creative, author, businesswoman. Why do you think society struggles with multifaceted women?
Because it's difficult to control. You know, I think people are looking for things that just make sense, very black and white thinking. But there's nothing about, you know, this world that's black and white. Everything has a shade of nuance. And I think that it's a larger conversation, but I have very strong views about the patriarchy.
Hey, this is the space for
You
you.
know, I mean, but
This
it
is
would
the
have to
space
be
for
like,
you.
it would have to be a whole series. It's like foundational things that would have to be understood first. But all of this to say, we live right now in a fascist government, unfortunately. And what people don't realize is a key part of fascism, the thing that holds it together, is patriarchy. It's this idea that you have the authoritarian governing father, you have the submissive, uplifting you, do as you say wife, and everything else is under your regime as an authoritarian. And so our government is modeled in a similar way. And that's why we live in this world of, you know, it's a man's world, you know, you can have anything you want. It's not the same for a woman. And so it was so interesting to me. I've always been very dynamic. And when I got to law school, somehow, God is so good, somehow, um, Rihanna's PR firm reached out to me, and I was at Kava. I was getting my bowl. It was just like a random day, and I just got this email and was like, "Savage X Fenty would like to cordially invite you." And I almost fell out. I almost dropped my feta bowl. But yeah. So I was like, oh my goodness, wait, you want me to come? It was just a grand opening. It was a grand opening in DC. You know, this was like when she was first opening stores. And I remember seeing that invite and saying, oh, I'm going. And when I leave, I'm going to be a model. Like there was no question to me that the assignment was understood. And so from then, everything that I thought about, my whole strategy was, how do I get in the door and show them better than I can tell them that I need to be a part of their brand? And so I made it a whole like fashion moment. I went and got me an outfit, not just any outfit. This is the outfit that if Rihanna saw it, she was gonna love it. Okay. And so I went, I had my little camera person, and I just remember one of the first things that someone said to me was like, oh, like, are you a brand ambassador? And I said, I will be. We can talk about that. And I surely did. I left and I was then signed my agreement, a brand ambassador for Rihanna's Savage X Fenty. And it was just like the heavens had opened up. I'm just like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that Rihanna might possibly know that I exist. Like, she's my icon, she's everything. And look, as a young Black girl with a big forehead from a very young age, okay, I just knew growing up, I said, she's bad. She's it. She's hot, and she don't never try to cover her little forehead. She owns it, okay? She owns all parts of herself. And she had this like real effort attitude, this creative, this fun, like even in her fashion, putting things together that you would never put together, but nobody questions it because it's Rihanna. And I think a lot of her confidence is what like I looked up to. And so there was no question that I was signing that agreement. And later on, I thought about it and I was like, oh, like, how is this going to go over just kind of like with my profession and things that I do, you know? But to me, it seemed reasonable. To me, Rihanna's lingerie brand is comparable to Victoria's Secret. You know, she's just the Black version. I mean, and not even just comparable, she's exceeding. She's got sizes up to 5X. I ain't never heard of a place carrying no 5X for both men and women. Okay. And she's just a powerhouse. And, and I said, I'm going to do this. And I don't see why people would have a problem with it if it's done in good taste. Am I going to be, in the bed taking selfies? Probably not. Probably not. But if I approach this with intention and excellence, like I do everything, and I go do the photo shoot and I go and I get my photographer and I get my team and I have hair and makeup, like this can be something that I'm proud of. And to me, that's really just that's the baseline. I just need to be proud. And so I did it, and it had some very interesting backlash. there was like this whole it wasn't the Shade Room, but it was like some blogger site, Rap House TV or something, I don't know. But they had posted a bunch of women lawyers who were also conventionally attractive. And so they had our picture of us, you know, doing the lawyerly things next to the picture of us doing whatever else. And so the whole post was trying to like, is this who you want your lawyers to be? And they used one of my Savage X Fenty pictures. And so when I saw that, and it went viral for a little minute, there was a lot of mixed responses. And even just probably within like my law school community, I'm sure that there's probably been a lot of negative responses as well. But, I can't listen to the noise. If I sat here and only did what y'all wanted me to do, I would be wearing beige and gray every day. I wouldn't have no color, no personality. I would only speak when spoken to. Like, no, we are all here on borrowed time, blissfully unaware of when we will be collected. And so it is really my mission to have all of the fun, all the experiences, do all the things that I can possibly do. And even with the backlash, like I did a case with a partner, and he, you know, was great in law school, but I thought about it. I'm like, if Patrick became a Calvin Klein model, no one would care. Like, no one would care. If he was here doing law school and then on the weekends was modeling, they'd be like, oh, you're so cool. Like, how do you do so many cool things? But when it's a Black woman, it's negative. It's looked down upon. Now I'm degrading the profession. Like, yeah. So all of that to say, society wants to put you in a box because it just makes the most sense in their brain. And that's not what my purpose is here. I'm not here to make sense to people. I'm not here to be liked. I'm not even really here to be respected. I'm here to be me. I'm here to be me. And I think if more people did that, they would spend a lot less time policing the lives of others.
That is a powerful statement right there. I'm not here to be liked. Honestly, I'm not even here to be respected. I'm here to be me. And you're right. I feel like if people definitely did step into, you know, owning who they are and all the parts of themselves, it'd be a lot less judgmental and a lot less, I guess, you know, BS in between and drama between people. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I've always felt as if what would make the world move a little bit better is kindness, empathy, and understanding. That's just how I am. That's just what I believe.
Mhm.
But yeah, if people own more of themselves, I think that could assist with that, right?
I think a lot of the naysayers, because there are some women that don't like how I am. There are some
Right.
the men that don't like how I am, just mad because they can't control me. You can't even have me. You can't even get in the room next to me. So I don't know what you're mad for. That's why you're mad. The women, I've noticed that there is a particular resentment when you're doing what they want to, but feel like they can't. And so because you feel like you can't post a certain way, or you feel like you wouldn't be bold enough to do the thing, now you have to hate on the next woman that's doing it. That's whack. Don't do that. And my favorite quote, I think it's from like Rick and Morty.
Hey.
It was this one episode, and he was like, "Your boos don't bother me. I've seen
what you
cheer
were
at.
Yeah.
I've seen what you cheer at. Oh,
Yeah.
yuck! I don't. If that's what you support, I don't want you to respect. I don't want you to respect me. I don't want you to like what I have going on.
No, I feel that. I feel that. That is no, I definitely feel that. Um I I I don't I was gonna say that I thought they would just be hating on the forehead. You know what I mean? Like,
You're funny.
usually, because usually if you got a big forehead, you're more than likely a baddie. If it's like a if it's a 5 head, it's like, oh yeah, that's a baddie. 6 head, but you know, nice little 4.5 head, 5 head, you more likely top tier. But nah, I wholeheartedly respect what it is that you conveyed. Now, come on, tell me about the terminology. Like
Okay.
I want you to have this clear lane. Matter of fact, hey, put on the big screen. Put on the big.
No, don't
Give her the full thing.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So how do I want to start this? So my name is Asia Marie. My credentials is JD. Well, it's BS and then JD, but JD. And so what that means is Juris Doctor. It is a doctorate degree. So like you have a PhD, you have other things. It is the highest terminal degree that you can get in a subject is a doctorate. And so I have a doctorate. And so technically, depending on what circles I'm in, I have church people and stuff call me Dr. Barnes, Dr. this, Dr. that, because I am technically a doctor. But the JDs, it's the Doctor of Jurisprudence. And that is basically saying that like you are a professional, a doctor in the law. And so that's, jurisprudence is like the theory or philosophy of law, like the fundamentals to how you argue and things like that. And so, so I have a JD, I have a doctorate. It's not commonly referred to as doctor. Like normally when you say doctor, it's a PhD or some other
EDD.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then another thing I want to clarify is that I do refer to myself as a lawyer, but there's a lot of confusion around being a lawyer versus being an attorney, and I'm here to make it clear for y'all. So an easy rule of thumb is that every attorney is a lawyer, but not every lawyer is an attorney. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of, okay. And so a lawyer is a person that has matriculated through professional legal schooling. You've gone to law school. You survived. And I say survived wholeheartedly because law school will literally take you out. My goodness. And then you have graduated, so you have earned your merits as a lawyer. You're a legal professional. You can give advice. You can draft contracts. And a lot of like law school, like I did a lot of research, and so I did legal research. So I have a lot of background on specific topics, race being one of them. So that's a lawyer. I'm not an attorney. Okay, an attorney is someone who has Esquire at the end of their name. So instead of JD, it would say ESQ. And that just means that they are a lawyer that has gone to law school, but has also sat for the bar exam and passed the bar exam. And all a bar exam means is that you are licensed to represent someone in the court of law. And so I don't know if I've watched TMZ recently, but at the end of TMZ, the segments, there's this, I can't remember what his name is, but it says, I'm a lawyer, because the guy that runs TMZ, Harvey Levin, he's a lawyer. I don't know if he's an attorney still. He's not actively practicing, but he is a lawyer. And so I just wanted to clear that up because people are like, when they hear lawyer, they assume that I'm in court. And I'm just like, no, like I'm not in court. I'm in community, and that's where my heart is.
I respect that. I respect that. I love the fact that your heart is for the people and to help them. And thank you so much for taking the time to clarify so that the people know. Well, I'm always going to, and I just want you to know, like, in terms of every immigrant household, like you are the ideal. You know what I mean? She's a doctor lawyer.
I don't feel like that yet.
She's literally what? Come on now, like especially like literally like my people be like. She said, Dr. Lawyer. Dr. Lawyer. This is the one. I said.
But honestly, it's like, so this is just like a personal thing for me though. Like, I don't think I've shared this, but so I went through my abusive experience while I was in law school. And I started law school during a pandemic. So I was in virtual law school, which was nuts. But I was also living in isolation with my abuser at the time. And so being the girl that just had the 4.0, like I'm so smart, I do all things excellently. I was struggling, I was failing, and I was really feeling like I don't belong here, like this isn't for me. And I was having that echoed back to me. And all in all, there were a couple of times where I was dismissed. Like, dear Asia, you have been unenrolled from. And it was crazy. And I'm just reading this paper like, there was no other plan. Like, what are we doing? What do you mean? And so I appealed and I won all my appeals and I walked that stage. And so I think as I'm in my survivor journey, I've grown a lot. I'm in a tremendous space, much better than I ever have been. But I think I'm still working on that confidence to sit for the bar. I've just never sat for it. I know, like, y'all see, like, Kim Kardashian has taken the bar like 12 times. Kim Kardashian can afford to take the bar 12 times. The bar is
Yeah,
actually
I was about to
very
say,
expensive. It is. No, honestly, like, with the class and all the other things that you have to add up, it comes out to about like 3-4 bands. Um, and that's just for you to take it. That's not even guaranteeing you.
yeah, that's
You
a
know.
drop in the bucket for her. Like she,
But like the thing with her that upsets me about her is like she never went to law school. Like you could have just went to the school. Like you're failing time after time. You could have just went to the classes. But all in all, I think I'm just really working on that confidence to, like, I wasn't doing poorly because I'm not equipped or because I can't do it. Like it was just my circumstances. It was my environment. It was what I was fighting and what I was going through. And I think that when I can get over that hump, then I'll definitely be intentional about sitting for the bar. It's something I want to do, but it's just not super necessary for what I'm doing in my field right now.
I wholeheartedly respect that. And I'm honestly going to just tell you, man. Hey, we over here at Easy Nation or and the United Front Network, man, we are legitimately speaking nothing but life, peace, and blessings over you, and that confidence that you want, you have it, and you will pull it out when you are ready to pull it out, and you will take that bar, and you will pass, and you will in fact be Dr. Attorney. I will gladly. I'll speak that into existence because it's gonna take
Thank you.
place.
Thank you.
Ain't no thing. I want to get into the goal of the show, the reason
Yeah.
why I do this, which
Okay.
is philanthropy. And you once mentioned that you were gonna be a philanthropist.
Okay.
So the goal of the show is philanthropy, garnering support from the audience and putting it towards a charity or nonprofit that you care about. What
Okay.
charity or nonprofit would you like to spotlight today, and why is the cause of the faces so important to you?
So it is House of Hope DMV.
Hey.
Yes, formerly known as the Hope to Help Project. It is the nonprofit that I started when I was 15 years old. And I was just a baby in this world. And all I knew is that I wanted to help people when they needed it. Like that was the baseline. It was who's in need of support and how can we fill that gap. And so our commitment is to inspire hope in communities one person at a time, doing a lot of I worked with unhoused populations since I was 15. And so I would spend my weekends and I would go to like Union Station and go to areas in DC, and I would bring care packages. I would bring Chick-fil-A sandwiches. I even brought teams of cosmetologists and barbers to like local shelters, and we had Sunday barbershop and home cooked meals, not peanut butter and jellies, but like really treating people like people and seeing them. And so, doing that so young, it just made me realize, like, if I can change one life, I can't end homelessness today. I would love to, but I can't. And if I can just impact one life, like, that's the world. Like, we really forget how important individuals are in the greater community. And so that was our mission, just one person at a time. If that's all you can do, that's what you commit to. And if all of us committed to it, imagine how much further we would be, as a society. And so I started there in that unhoused space, going to tent encampments and things, to going to college, putting on bigger projects. I did a celebration of life one year because in the county I grew up in, it was just so many young people passing away. And like, how is this possible? How can we come together? How can I help, sort of thing? And so whatever we can do, we do. We served unhoused communities, we serve survivors, we do scholarships for education, just anything. We try to show up. And so right now what we're working on, I have not said this anywhere else, we are building mini food pantries across the DMV. And so this started when that government shutdown happened, and it was blowing my mind to hear that food banks were empty. Like, what do you mean food banks are empty? How is that possible? Where are people supposed to go for support? And so you may have seen like these little mini houses, mini mailboxes. And the model normally is for books. You leave a book, you take a book. But I want to change that to be a food pantry, an essentials pantry, to where you might have this little thing at your local church or shopping center or somewhere in the trenches, I don't know. And you can open the door, it's going to have different levels, like a little house, and you can take whatever you need. You give what you can, take what you need. And so I just left Lowe's with the contractor, and so he's got the design. We're building these little houses and trying to find places to put them. And so that is what we're currently working on.
Man, that is absolutely amazing. Like, that is awesome. And I cannot wait to guide people towards those places, the ones
Yeah.
that are in need. You're doing an amazing work, sincerely speaking. And hopefully, those who are underneath the sounds of our voices, whether they're watching this live or playing this back in the future, they donate their time, energy, or effort or resources towards House of Hope. Thank you so much for spotlighting that. Sincerely,
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
not a problem. Before we close out,
Okay.
we like to close with words of wisdom, right?
Oh, okay.
Um, I didn't get a chance to ask my question about it earlier, but I do want to circle back to that topic. But I'm going to ask this question in this way:
Okay.
what words of wisdom would you say to the woman that is watching this, that is
Mm.
strong in public but suffering in private?
Mm. I would tell her that abundance is your birthright. There's nothing that you have to do. It's no goalposts you have to meet. There's nothing that you need to achieve in order to be worthy of this experience, to be worthy of the abundance, to be worthy of good treatment. You don't have to perform for that, whether it's in school, extracurriculars, or even in a relationship. You don't have to perform to be treated well. All you had to do was be. All you had to do was exist, and that was enough. You are worthy. Um, to the woman who is strong in public but suffering in silence, I would tell you to keep your chin up. I would tell you that this is just a season, and it's a dry season, and it's a rough season, but it's just a season, and every season ends and transforms into something different and something greater. And so I would tell you to keep going, even in those moments where it's like I'm on my face. But I had to tell myself, like, if I go out, it's gonna be going out on my face, crossing this finish line. I'm gonna be going out across the finish line. That's gonna be the legacy that I leave. And so I just encourage you to keep going, even when you think you can't, even when you think it's done. Keep going and know that people like me love you and see you and support you.
Thank you, Dr. Asia Marie, for joining me this evening. Thank you for those words of wisdom. Hopefully, the women that are watching this, they feel empowered to keep going. Is there anything that I didn't ask that you would have liked for me to ask?
Oh, okay. That's always like this such a wild question people ask in interviews. Like, because question that you didn't ask that I would have wanted you to ask, something that I want to share.
Mm-hmm.
I guess my opinion on certain things. It's
Ooh,
not like you asked a lot of great questions, but just if I had
I
to give a little
appreciate it.
tidbit, I would tell y'all, please stop using AI. Please stop using AI. We don't need it. We don't need it. We are creatives. We
Did
are.
you did you see the thing about Moltbook?
I don't know what none of that's called. I don't know what
Look,
none of
look,
it
look, look,
is.
look. So basically, what it is AI has created its own social media platform that
Mm.
humans can't join.
Oh, they taking over. It's the uprising. See, I can't. No.
So I
Beyond just that, the ethical
mean,
parts of things shouldn't be smarter than people. I feel like we've seen enough movies about that. What I stress to you all is if you care about people, if you care about Black people, if you care about underrepresented communities and minorities, you will stop. Because every time you generate a little image of you going outside to the party, to the club, to the bar with a man, every time you generate that on Facebook and post it, you're taking gallons of water and electricity away from rural communities, rural Black communities that can't fight back. They're building data centers everywhere. girl, they might build a data center up on you if you don't stay vigilant. You really have to stop the AI usage. It's not sustainable. It's not ethical. Go outside, go have memories and take real pictures. We're losing the essence of the human connection. Okay. Hire graphic designers, hire creatives, value genuine work. Don't need to put that in no system to make that happen. That's the one thing I wanted to say. I need y'all to also read. We need to read. There's a literacy crisis. We need to read. Right now, DC adults are reading on at best a 6th to 7th grade level. That is in a time of misinformation where people are lying to you on the TV, telling you things that are not true. I need you to read, and not even just read. That's the first step. I need you to think critically. Question everything. Question everything. I don't care who it's coming from. If God came down right now, I promise I would have questions for him. Okay? Like, it's okay to have questions. See, I'm not reading chat, but what else did I want to say? Last tidbits: read, try to limit AI, and just take care of each other, y'all. We got. Community is all we have in chaos and in crisis. Your government is not coming to save you. It is going to be your community. So please show up. You never know when you're going to need support. And so please try to always be engaged and active in community as much as possible. And yeah, I think those are my little sound off messages.
That's a great way to close it out, man. I appreciate you, sincerely speaking. So y'all heard her. Read, don't use AI, read and think critically, please.
Yes.
Please.
I believe in y'all. I do.
Most definitely. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring you down for a bit, and I'm gonna close out the show, and I'll definitely get back to talk to you after this.
All right.
All right. Thank you again. Oh. Nothing. So this thing that my producer does is hilarious. As soon as I say the last word, he gonna cut you down. Bring it down.
I do the same thing on the phone. People are like, okay, bye. Hang up. Boop. It's done. It's done. We're not stalling. We're not lacking. None of that.
You're gonna dub it for real, for real. Well, all right, give me 2. I'm about to close out the show. Okay. Thank you again. All right. Yes, dog. Live. This is a live show, you guys. This is a live broadcast. So when you watch this back, yes, these things happen, and yes, we definitely enjoy these moments. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this evening. This was an amazing conversation. I learned a great deal, not only just about the person that we sat with, but also about even my own opinions that I've held. So I challenge you all, especially during this month, Happy Black History Month, to go back and reevaluate your own previously held opinions after watching this. Thank you all again so much for tuning in. I'm Ezel Moon, and I'm not doing it unless it's fun and it helps people. Peace.